The Challenges of Probation by Karina O., Isabella P., and Lauren M. First, let's start off with what is probation. According to our textbook, American Corrections, probation is a sentence that a convicted person serves in the community under supervision. Probation is the most frequent sentence in our correction system. Probation is supposed to give the convicted person a second chance. People in probation may go through, depending on their conditions of probation, numerous drug tests, curfews, attend school, location barriers, not being to meet with certain people, and constantly meet up with your probation officer to see if they are following their conditions of probation. If they do not follow conditions of their probation, they will be sent to prison for the remainder of their sentence. Probationers with a substance use disorder. Probationers with a substance use disorder face many challenges. Such challenges are being stigmatized, their probation officer not being well equipped or not well trained to treat specialized cases such as these, having trouble receiving the needed treatment because of cost and no insurance, and very often this happens, apparently. Probationers with a substance use disorder also have a mental illness. Probationers with substance use disorder face many challenges. One major one is being stigmatized. The stigma is as being seen as junkies or being unwanted because of the substance use disorder. Furthermore, the stigma creates many obstacles of getting the needed treatment. One example is the probation officer or probation agency having strict rules against medicated assisted treatment because they think of it as trading one drug for another, or they haven't changed their policy on medicated assisted treatment. The stigma doesn't only come from their probation officer or their agency, but also the community. Since the community is not well educated in substance use disorder, they could get the wrong idea of people getting the needed medicated assisted treatment. And sometimes the community could get in the way of getting the needed treatment.
To decrease incarceration numbers, the opportunity for probation has been awarded to more violent offenders, for example, gang members, domestic abusers, and sex offenders. Offenders deemed high risk require greater attention from their supervisor, the time and attention level these officers do not have. The lack of oversight leads to a risk for the community. The Risk Needs Responsivity Program is used to assess individuals on probation, and the assessment will categorize them and determine the level of supervision their status requires. Technology has been incorporated into probation so officers can monitor probationers without physically meeting with them. The amount of officers serving in the area of probation does not equate to the number necessary for the system to function properly. Probation officers are frequently completing paperwork related to their cases rather than serving those individuals out in the community firsthand. Probation officers do not see the level of employment their agencies need. They have low staff numbers and high caseloads. Probation officers ideally are supposed to meet with their probationers on a frequent basis. However, meetings grow more infrequent and significantly shorter. Probation officers are commonly subject to extreme amounts of overtime. Up to 1 to 2 extra days per week are seen. The size of caseloads officers should have is not regulated, and research has found that caseload size should be proportional to the amount of time needed to assist the offender successfully and reduce recidivism.
Looking at how race and gender and even class system affects the outcomes of jail or probation sentencing was interesting to see, since the racial injustice that most offenders see even begins in their youth and leads into their adult lives. Seeing how past traumas like early substance abuse or even witnessing their family's criminal pasts or present factor into the way that the criminal justice system will perceive those young individuals, who then later in life as adults are more likely to have difficulties within that CJ system, since their race or class has become set in stone for them. Looking at how the criminal court system and probation officers see their offenders, they have to look at their past traumas and current ones to really assess how probation will affect their futures.